Hey there, friends and foes. This is Back of the Cereal Box, and this is our 3-year anniversary show. A big 3 years. Welcome to the program. This morning, we're going to be trying out some cereal. We got some new loot, and Ryan Permison and Cade Hawkins are going to be joining me, Aubrey, and Willow to talk about Batman, Mask of the Phantasm, and we're going to do that right after this from DL Memphis and the Murdering Crows.
It's like Coca-Cola, Levi Strauss, Johnny Carson and Mickey Mouse. The first star was James Dean, Elvis Presley, and he's still the king. Some things are only imitatable. You can't beat an original. Oh, you can't beat an original.
Happy anniversary, Cereal Boxers. This is the 3rd-year anniversary show for Back of the Cereal Box, the pop culture podcast that celebrates the fun of the Saturday mornings of our youth. And I am your host, the prophet of pop culture, John Pica. You can call me Johnny. And Star Wars movies and Avengers comic books and Saturday morning cartoons made me who I am today. And we are called Back of the Cereal Box because when I was a kid, Saturday mornings meant big bowls of cereal in front of the TV, watching cartoons, reading comic books, watching kaiju movies. And when I was a kid, we didn't have smartphones or tablets at the breakfast table. We were reading the back of the cereal box. That was our newspaper. That was our world. And that was our portal into pop culture as we know it today. Because sometimes there would be comics in the box, comic books in the box or on the back, or they would print records, or there would be games and posters and all kinds of fun, cool, geek culture stuff. So this is the 3rd-year anniversary of our show. Can you believe it's been 3 years? And we've got a very special message from one of our Cereal Box network mates. Check this out from George Bueller.
Hey everybody, it's George, your Prime Fanatic from the Fanatic Forum, and I want to wish a very happy 3rd birthday to the Back of the Cereal Box podcast. It has been an absolute pleasure being a part of the network. I've made a lot of friends, I've had a lot of fun, and I've definitely had a lot of fun watching and listening to the Cereal Box podcast. So yeah, very happy anniversary to you guys, and many, many more.
Thank you very much, George. Glad to have you on board. Well, we've got some more greetings like that, some well wishes. But before we get to that, we need to introduce my co-hosts coming to you live from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Our emotional support Canadian, the Peppermint Princess, the social media socialite. She is a fan of Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, and all things X-Men. She is the one, the only Willow Schuyler.
Good morning.
Good morning, Willow. And Willow is in the dark this morning because her husband is still asleep.
I'm trying to be courteous.
Now, Willow is recovering from a bout of the vid.
It's not fun. I do not recommend.
Well, we are glad that you are here and feeling better. And it's also time to welcome in your wife's favorite redhead, cosplayer extraordinaire, face painter artist, and just all around fantastic fan of everything comic book. It is Aubrey Cavett. And Aubrey, yeah, swing around, get centered there. There you go. Ta-da! And Aubrey is doing a fantastic cosplay this morning. I mean, she always looks that great, but who are you this morning?
I am supposed to be a relaxed version of Andrea Beaumont.
From Mask of the Phantasm. Ta-da! Love it. Oh my gosh, you look so good. You look so good. And we have some special guests in the rec room this morning, and we're going to welcome them in. This could become complete chaos, ladies. First, and I always have to take a deep breath. The man who can talk at a mile a minute. He can quote every movie he's ever seen verbatim. I don't know how he does this. He sees it one time. He's got the whole thing memorized. And he's a fan of all things comics and anime, animation and X-Men in particular, Power Rangers specifically. He is the one, the only Ryan Permison, all the way from Nerd Culture. How are you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing well. Happy 3-year anniversary to everyone at Back of the Cereal Box. Thanks for having me. And in the words of the Phantasm, the great derailed conversation awaits. So, yeah. Ready to derail this thing, man. I'm ready. I was born
He
ready.
is the great derailer.
Yes.
I love it. And also joining us is the newest member of the Cereal Box Network, but a guy who is burning it up.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one of the best video and audio podcasts on the internet. He's a guy that I brought on because I loved what he was doing, and now he's become a mentor to me. The one, the only Cartoon Commotion, Cade Hawkins. Good morning, Cade.
Welcome, Cade.
Good morning, everyone. Hiya, Johnny. Hiya, Willow. Hiya, Aubrey. And hiya, Ryan. How you doing?
Hiya, Cade.
I mean, that is such a nice thing of you to say, Johnny. I appreciate that so much, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and if you're not if you don't know what Clubhouse is a social audio drop-in app, and Cade has absolutely been killing it on Clubhouse, holding court on a daily basis and sharing his knowledge about YouTubing and podcasting in general, and he's just slam dunking it. It's pretty amazing.
Well, thank you so much, man. I try, like I've been a lot of the stuff I share is just stuff I've been taught or picked up on in other podcasts and stuff. I have notebooks on this stuff. Because I really want to bring that quality to everything we do.
Well, Cade is a student of the art, and I love that. All right, so guys, first question we have to ask, because Saturday mornings in my house meant big bowls of cereal, and I know, Ryan, you refused to participate, but I have to ask, what's in the bowl? And this morning, I have Nutty Buddy cereal, the Little Debbie's Buddy Sitter.
What? I need that.
It's excellent. It looks really good.
So you
I
guys,
want that. Johnny, can it save me a bowl?
I can. And okay, so you guys, this has been sitting at the house for over a year. I bought it last September and we tried it live on air. I don't know if you remember that, Willow. I tried one bowl. I didn't like it. It got set on the shelf and it's been sitting there for a year. So I was going through the cereal shelf, throwing stuff away. But before I threw it away, I just was like, we'll see if it's still good. I'll try a bite. And this was still good. Again, just like the 2-year-old Frosted Flakes, Kellogg's has figured out the formula. So look, ladies and gentlemen, that was my mic getting knocked over by the box of cereal. On the back of this cereal box, there is all kinds of fun and nostalgia.
Ooh.
And there's a game to play. There's all kinds of facts about stuff from our childhood, especially Little Debbie's snack cakes.
Johnny,
And
do they look like little bricks?
yeah, so that's exactly what they look like. They look like little bricks. They taste really good, dry. Now,
Oh,
I don't
okay.
remember why I didn't like this when a year ago. But maybe it has something to do with the milk. So I'm going to take a bite. Okay, now I remember. The milk just wait. Oh, wait a minute. So when it first hit my tongue, there was like no flavor. But as it melted, Willow, the cereal that we had the couple of weeks ago that just kind of like melted like Cheetos on your tongue. What was that?
I don't
Not
remember.
Willow, but Aubrey. Aubrey.
That was the
yeah.
Great Pumpkin.
Yeah, that's
That was
kind of
the
what
Great
this
Pumpkin
did.
cereal.
That's kind of what this did. It had no flavor until it fully melted. And then that chocolate flavor just completely exploded. Wow. Okay. Last year, I hated this. This year, a year later, it's still fresh. I don't know what Kellogg's is doing, but I'm going to give this 4.5 bowls. Oh, this is good. Wow. Why did I not like this? I know why. It doesn't taste anything like Nutty Buddy.
Oh no!
But it
Wait,
does-
Well, what does it remind you of?
It tastes like, I mean, there's a slight peanut butter flavor, but really it's more like Cocoa Puffs.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then,
Yeah. Delicious chocolate. Yes. Fantastic. Willow, what do you got?
I am eating mini wheats, but it's the brown sugar ones.
Ooh. Are they
Good.
awesome?
Very good. Very good. I don't have the box with me, but trust me, guys, it's boring.
Well, because you're in Canada. I don't know. In Canada, I don't know if you knew this, Aubrey, but in
They
Canada,
don't like putting any of the games or the fun facts on it.
They don't.
It has to be both English and French
Right.
by law.
So it's the
Oh, that's
same.
a lot of money.
Yeah, the back is the same as the front, but the front is in English, the back is in French. So there's no fun stuff on the back of their cereal boxes. Canadians have the worst cereal life ever. Anyway, but frosted, I was one of those weird kids that loved frosted mini wheats.
It is so good.
And this is the cinnamon?
The brown sugar.
I don't think we have that in the States.
It's so good though.
I'm gonna go on the hunt. All right, Aubrey, what are we cerealing this morning?
So I had a friend pick me up some cereal, right? But I guess they didn't understand the assignment. So I have a giant box of Kicks.
I love Kicks.
Like it's enormous. And come on, Kicks, Pows. Okay, it's Batman, right? Kicks. All right, so like this is family size. So I'm gonna be giving this box to somebody probably because I'm not gonna be able to finish this by myself. But on the back, it's a game, like an actual game, guys. So like when you're sitting at the table, I don't know if you remember being a kid and sitting at the table and there was nothing going on, and some of us didn't have a TV, so you're just like staring out the window. Oh, there's a game on the back of the box. This is perfect. It gives you instructions, guys. Okay, and you get to play a game with the back of the box. Okay, there's a point system and everything. So this is a very interactive box right here. This is not a go online and pick out something. This is, you can enjoy your cereal and entertainment at the same time. And I haven't had Kicks since I was 20-ish years old. Not telling how old I am. No, I don't care. I'm 40.
So what? That was like what, 3 years ago?
Sure. Yeah, it was 3 years ago. Not at all. But you know, if you haven't already had Kicks, it's rather bland, but it's crunchy. It's crunchy.
But what does Kicks taste like?
Nothing.
Sugar.
It really tastes like nothing. Kicks is great for fruit and like in a Ziploc, and you just, like on the go. Like you can have coffee, you can have cocoa, you can have anything with it. It's very bland. There's no real flavor, but nutritionally, it's good for kids and adults.
Aubrey, you sent your friend out for cereal, but what they brought back was a challenge.
It's gonna take me like Johnny length of time. It's gonna take a year to finish this.
Well, so
It's a
Ryan
challenge.
and Cade, you may not have heard the news, but I only eat fun cereal on Saturday mornings. So I'll get a box. Like this is a family size box. This is also from Walmart. They're the ones that do the family size. And it will take me a year to eat that box because I only do one bowl a week. And so most cereals on this show get one taste test and then they go stale. But there's something about the Kellogg cereals that they stay fresh. Kellogg's, not a sponsor, but they could be. Now, Ryan, I know you reject the entire premise of this show, and you probably already had your Honey Nut Cheerios this morning. No?
No, Johnny, I switched. A lot of things have changed in the last 3 years of my life. So at one point I was on a Kix kick. Then I switched over to Special K. You're welcome, Kellogg's. And then after that, I realized you can put these magical little things in a toaster oven, and then you can pour syrup on top, and no one will ever Lego your Eggo. So nowadays, I'm eating 6 to 8 Eggo waffles a morning, if not 6 protein-filled waffles brought to you by my good friend Kodiak, filled with buttermilk and vanilla flavored. Drop a whole bunch of log cabin syrup on top of it, wash it down with ice cold milk, and then you have a side dish of a plain bagel toasted with cream cheese. So that, my friends, is what we call a complete breakfast.
Well,
So,
not
Ryan-
exactly. Not exactly. You did not pour the Mr. T cereal on top.
No, but I don't pity any fool that doesn't use that cereal, so I don't care.
So,
But I got
Ryan,
plenty of waffles, plenty of bagels, and plenty of ice cold milk to wash it down with. You're welcome, America.
Ryan, you have a magical toaster that toasts your Eggo waffle all the way through.
Toaster oven, yeah. It's a toaster. It's
toaster
magical.
oven.
Every time they come out, it's fresh as a daisy. You pour the syrup on it. You cut it up into little pieces with your what is it called? A fork. That's what it's called. And then you just
What's it called? A fork?
And then you're binge watching reruns of Hollywood Squares on your tablet every morning. It's a beautiful thing. By the way, I'm talking about the iteration with Tom Bergeron and Whoopi Goldberg, not the original.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
I need to see this magical toaster because
should.
I find that
Beautiful option.
It's a
Eggo
toaster
waffles
oven.
don't toast all the way
Yeah.
through at my house.
Toaster
You are
ovens
very much
magical.
right. You are very much right.
Okay. So, Willow, this is a tip. Let them thaw out first. Put them in the refrigerator, not the freezer. And then they will cook all the way through, or get an air fryer. By the way, you guys, we got an air fryer, and let me just throw this tip out there to you. Twinkies in the air fryer.
No.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Really?
That sounds delicious.
Well, you know, the truth of the matter is, according to this morning's sample, will be a Twinkie 35 feet long, weighing approximately 600 pounds. That's a big Twinkie.
I wanted to say it's a big Twinkie.
I'm sorry, Cade. I beat you to it. You got it.
I thought you were setting me up for the punchline.
It's going to be hard out quoting the quote master. I'm just
I'm
saying.
not trying to
Very
unquote
difficult
you.
thing to do.
All right, Cade, did you have any cereal this morning? Because obviously we can't see what you've got
No,
since
yeah,
you're
I don't
animated.
You're in the digital world,
have.
just like Samurai Cyber Squad, baby.
I'm in Toonland. I come from Toonland.
Toontown.
No, specifically Toonland. The other one was copyrighted. I've got well, I didn't have so I didn't have cereal this morning, but actually I had a note on your cereal. I had the Little Debbie Johnny, I had the Little Debbie what's it called? It's they are oatmeal cream pie cereal.
Oh,
I had that one.
Oh, so
I
I
had that
love
one.
oatmeal cream pies, and I've been resistant to trying that cereal because I love oatmeal cream pies so much that I was afraid I would be disappointed like I was originally by the Nutty Buddy cereal. But the more I have this, the better it gets. And this is a solid 4.5 bowls of cereal out of 5.
I would give this one okay, so for me personally, it would be more like a 3 for this one. Because I think that it wasn't like I didn't like the cinnamon because I love it, but it just sort of felt strong. Like it was very strong. Like whatever seasoning they were using in that was just um to the max core strong. I
All
so
right.
like you have to, I don't know if it needed more milk or what, but it was kind of overpowering. Like there wasn't a whole lot of cream flavor. I don't think they could get the cream flavor quite right.
Yeah.
Very very much on the actual like oatmeal side of things. And I guess they were just expecting the milk to fill the void of cream. But it really isn't the same thing.
That is hysterical. So that is our breakfast cereal. What's in our bowls? What's in your bowl? You watching, post it as a comment, because that is where we are in the show. We're going to go through some viewer comments. And I forgot to mention our amazing theme song was performed by DL Memphis and the Murdering Crows. Get it on Amazon, iTunes, or Google, their album. And we also need to thank our Cereal Box super friends, Eli Cash, Cindy Kep, Sharice Collins, Dave Mattingly. They are contributors at patreon.com/cerealboxpodcast. And if you did not hear the news, we launched a new Patreon campaign, a new Patreon page, and we are doing Patreon exclusive videos. And yesterday, I posted up the first exclusive, a review of Krampus, a Yuletide adventure. The trade paperback graphic novel is part of Back Issue Breakfast Club. If you want to see more and learn more about Krampus, become a supporter at patreon.com/cerealboxpodcast. The address is running along the bottom of the screen. So let's get to some viewer comments, and we got a bunch because this is the 3rd year anniversary, and so people are coming out to support us and be a part of the chat. Zentron says, R.I.P. Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman. And Zentron also says, it's My Town Christmas Light Turn On event today. We were ranked worst in the country last year and previous year. You know, you got to be proud of something. And sometimes being the worst is the way to go.
Well, you need a nice princess.
What's that?
You need a nice princess. Yeah, an ice princess.
Ice princess. And if we were talking about Batman Returns, which is my favorite Christmas music or Christmas movie. First day with my new tongue. What? That's not your favorite Christmas movie, Ryan?
Heck no. I can name 50 other movies that top that thing.
We're talking about Batman this morning, Ryan.
Yes, I know.
I thought we were supposed to be in theme. You gave me grief for not wearing a Batman t-shirt.
But yes, I'm wearing a Batman t-shirt proudly, I might add. But Batman Returns is a Tim Burton movie. It's not a Batman movie.
I completely disagree. Tim Burton defined Batman. And without Tim Burton,
the second one he slept, but you know.
All right. Eli T. Cash says, good morning. #Gallatin, Tennessee, which nobody else knows about, Eli, except for me. I live in Gallatin. Eli lives in Gallatin. The rest of the world watching is like, who cares about Gallatin? Nobody. All right. Eli T. Cash says, complete chaos. #Joker must be on the loose. Hey, Batmobile lost a wheel and Joker got away. George Bueller says, good morning, Cereal Boxers.
Good morning, George.
Happy anniversary. Dave Mattingly says, good morning, Cereal Boxers.
Good morning, Dave.
George Bueller says, Cade H. Hawkins. I'll be sporting my Jiggy t-shirt at the shop today. And what he's talking about, ladies and gentlemen, is Cade's sidekick, Jiggy. And you can see Jiggy on Cartoon Commotion with Cade on a regular basis. And I think actually even Jiggy has a little song and dance he does.
He's a very
Fantastic.
talented banjo player. Bodacious banjo playing as always, Jiggy Bud.
I love it.
Bodacious.
I love it. Love it. Love it. And Dave Mattingly says, oh, I just lost it. We just got what they call a comment dump. Wow. We got a bunch of comments. We might not get through all these, but Dave Mattingly says, I lost it. I don't know where it went. I went.
Oh,
know
no.
where it went. But
Dave,
Jason,
comment again.
Dave.
I'll see it in a minute. Jason XO659 says, guess who's back? Back again. Jason's back. Tell a friend. And either Aubrey or Willow is commenting back to our comments in the chat. So
that
I
might
think
be
that might
me.
be Ryan.
That might be
Oh,
me.
okay.
Yeah, I was commenting. I didn't realize it was making me.
Cade's the
though.
Wizard of Oz. Cade's the Wizard of Oz.
yeah.
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
And when you do that, it posts that comment to all 4 of our outlets, so it shows up 4 times in the side screen.
I am making our comment sections very lively.
That's funny.
That's
funny.
a good word to use, Cade. Live.
He's
Heard
to
that.
blame.
You might even call it animated.
Yeah,
I love that.
I understood that reference.
Dave Mattingly says 1 year is good vintage for Nutty Buddies. Apparently so. 1 year. And they're so fresh. Again, I asked the question, Willow, of Kellogg's. Is that the quality or the chemicals?
A little bit of A and B.
And Eli T. Cash says, Nutty Buddy cereal, suspenseful music, try me. Defy, obey the curly top. Live deliciously, Johnny. Eli, you're so weird, man. You're so weird. And Dave Mattingly says, this week I've been snacking on Aldi's strawberry shredded wheat. Very tasty. So, and Dave Mattingly says, Johnny, you're saying that French is not fun? French can be fun. As in French fries, French crullers, French kissing. That's a lot of fun. But it's no fun.
French toast.
Wait a minute,
French
kissing?
toast.
We're allowed to mention that? This being the Curly Show, we're allowed to say that? I thought that was illegal. Okay.
I do have to say, like, I know a lot of people consider French to be the romantic language, but coming here to Canada and hearing the broken English French accent from people is not sexy.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
Willow, do you speak French?
Maybe about the only thing that I know on French is who cut the cheese, and I learned that from Freakazoid.
Nice.
Well, that's listen.
Oh my God.
That is in theme. So let's hear it.
Oué, coupé le fromage.
Congratulations.
I don't know
Brilliant.
where I'm going to use that ever.
You're never going to use
On
it.
this show. On this show.
He also did like conversational Norwegian.
Yeah, maybe.
Wow. Eli T. Cash says, eating frosted mini wheats right now, actually. Hashtag weirded up. Hashtag bring the noise. And Dave Mattingly says, kicks ball. That's what Aubrey has. Kicks ball. I don't know.
It can be taken
Every
a
time we
couple of
say
different ways.
every time we say ball, Aubrey gets broken.
Yeah, we have to take a shot every time.
No, we are not that tri-channel. No.
We could if we go uncensored.
Oh, you guys have never seen me drunk. This is not a good idea.
No, and that's not happening on Saturday mornings. Kicks tastes a little
Saturday
bit like
nights, maybe.
Rice Krispies, says Dave Mattingly, but with even less flavor. And Eli T. Cash says, kick cereal be Blandsville.
It's not. I enjoy it.
And
Does it taste like nothing to you though?
I don't care.
to me,
Still good
No,
cereal.
like
Ryan?
Ryan said, it's his. He likes it. So like,
No,
what
a long
does it
time
taste
ago,
like?
I was eating it every day, but I'm just saying I switch my cereals every couple of years.
So Ryan is one of those people who finds something and does not deviate from it for a long time. So for a year, it was like, or two, it was like Honey Nut Cheerios. And then before that, I guess it was Kix, or was that after the Honey Nut Cheerios?
Yeah, it was. It was Kix, and then before that was Special K. Nowadays, it's either Eggo waffles or Kodiak waffles dipped in log cabin syrup. # not a sponsor.
Covered in Mr. T cereal?
No, it's not. Get off the whole Mr. T thing. I've never had it. Get off my back about it. Jeez.
Shame.
For shame. There is no shame.
I pity the fool that don't eat my cereal.
Exactly.
I pity the fool that don't eat my cereal.
Yeah, that was a good day at the office for Tim. That was a good one too. That was my Pee Wee Herman imitating.
That
Mr.
was good.
T.
Yeah. That was good.
Where is here? Yeah.
That was actually like a spot on impression of an impression.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
How good I am at my
Pee Wee Herman is one of the few impressions that I do really well. Someday I'll have to do a full thing.
We should. Johnny and I should do a duet. Yeah, be fun.
All right, Dave Mattingly says Ryan is a true breakfast connoisseur.
I am. Thank you.
Speaking of waffles and pancakes, I should have brought it up this morning. Yesterday at Ollie's, get it for less.
Oh yes.
For $1.99,
mm-hmm.
I bought a box of cinnamon toast crunch pancake mix.
Ooh.
I'm gonna make it this morning for the family after the show.
It sounds delicious.
It sounds wonderful. Yep. Can we have some? Can you share the rest of us?
You know, we really need to make that invention where you can share food across the interwebs somehow.
Yeah.
A teleporter for food.
Let's make that a reality.
Maybe if shipping wasn't so expensive, we could just mail it to each other.
Shipping wasn't so expensive, Cade. Yeah.
So, true story. Willow, I think we sent you some cereal, didn't we? Last year.
Last year, something like that. Yeah,
we sent.
I got like the Halloween cereals from you guys.
Do you want to know how much shipping was for that one box of cereal? $48.
That's insane.
Yeah, he said he asked you if you wanted to know, but then he told you anyway.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing with it, it looked like the box itself was damaged. Like there was a huge hole in it. It looked like someone ran into it with one of it looked like someone had rammed into it with something sharp.
It would be cheaper. It would be less expensive than sending Willow boxes of cereal through the post office if we literally bought a plane ticket, flew to the Canadian border and stood at the border and threw boxes of cereal over the border to Willow. It would cost less than
Willow. Here's
we could use the Kitapult from Richie Rich. Let's use the Kitapult. Yeah.
I loved that.
The launch.
That was so good.
Does anyone remember the Kitapult?
Yes. Yes. I loved that movie.
Fun movie. That's a fun little movie to go back to.
Jason XO659 says the air fryer is a gift from God.
I prefer the toaster oven, but okay.
And George Bueller says toaster strudel in the air fryer is the bomb. So yeah. I think you need to try some waffles in the air fryer, Ryan.
Okay.
Don't diss it till you try it.
All right. If anyone wants to ship me over a thing, let me know.
So
Black Friday sales are still going on, Ryan. I'm sure you can pick one up from
Big Lots. Big Lots has an air fryer for $19.95.
Right now.
Right now.
I guess I know where I'm going after the show.
Yeah. Speaking of, he's going shopping for some new loot. Speaking of new loot, when I was a kid, not only were the big bowls of cereal the thing, we would reach into the box of cereal to pull out the prize. And you guys know that next week starts Pike-a-Palooza, my birthday month. I celebrate all month long. I've got new loot to start sharing next week. But this week, I thought staying on theme with kind of the vintage feeling of the Nutty Buddy, I would share this new loot I got this week. You're going to love this. Ryan, Cade, everybody. So I got, these are
Hello.
facsimile comics. So Willow and Aubrey, you've seen me share these before,
I like X-Men.
where these are actual reproductions of the original as they were originally printed. Now, the difference with G.I. Joe #1 is that it was originally published by Marvel Comics. It's now reprinted by Image under Skybound Comics Group. But this is exactly the way it was published in 1980 something. I want to say, let me see. Does it say? It says somewhere. Oh, here, where'd it go? It was originally published by, it doesn't say. Okay. 1982. So it is exactly, and this one is actually on newsprint, which is rare for these facsimiles. Normally they're published on, high gloss new paper. But the Skybound doesn't have all of the vintage ads. It has some of them, but like it has an ad for the new G.I. Joe series that just came out. But look, here's the G.I. Joe, the pit, a map of the pit. Basically, all Cobra had to do was read issue #1, and they knew all the secrets of G.I. Joe. So that's the original G.I. Joe #1. Now, Marvel does their facsimiles, and when they reprint them on new glossy paper stock. This is the classic Days of Future Past. And John Byrne, art, Terry Austin on inks, Chris Claremont writer. But look at this. The original ads that appeared in the book, including the official Star Wars fan club you can mail away. You sent $5 as a check or money order. $6 if you were in Canada. And you got to become a member of the Star Wars fan club. And this story is the first time that we see Old Man Logan. And he makes his entrance right here. Boom. Old Man Logan. And this is, it's really funny, guys. So this Days of Future Past story was one issue in the classic run from Claremont and John Byrne. And it was just a couple of panel glimpse into the future. It wasn't even the full issue, because after Days of Future Past comes, we pop into the present and we don't ever see it again. And yet this story has captivated fandom since its inception. It has become one of the most referenced stories in all of comic book history. And it has been the impetus for multiple spin-offs and even a movie. A couple of panels on a couple of pages. That's pretty phenomenal. But both of these hit comic book store shelves this week. They're on shelves this week. Go check them out. Ta-da!
Cool.
Johnny,
Willow,
there
you got
are
any
some
new?
funny
You got any
comments.
prizes?
Yep. All right. So a couple of weeks ago, before I got sick, I went to Toad in the Hall, which is a toy store downtown Winnipeg. It deals with a lot of the vintage style tin type toys, and you can build your own doll houses and stuff like that.
Ooh, I love
it's
this.
It's a lovely toy store. I love it. So who here remembers paper dolls?
Oh, my
Oh,
God,
look at this.
love it.
And I'm a huge steampunk lover, so this is totally up my alley, where you can dress up your
she's
paper
naked.
dolls.
That is not naked. That is
in-
underclothes.
In
all
Victorian
kinds of cool
terms, that's
steampunk.
naked.
Here's a guy.
Oh, and
Also
he's
in his underwear.
Look
So yeah,
at
I
those
love
straps on the
it.
boot socks. I mean,
This stuff is gonna give me all kinds of ideas for costumes and
yeah.
and trinkets
wait.
to build. So.
Is that a steampunk costume that isn't brown or gray?
It's blue and has some green on it.
So cool.
So yeah, if you guys ever get a chance to come down to Winnipeg, I will definitely show you
Oh my
Totem
God, I
Mahal.
love it.
So yeah, this is cool. I love this.
Now
So-
I want to come to Canada.
Oh, Canada. All right, Miss Aubrey.
Oh, it's my turn. Whoops,
It's
I
your
got
turn.
so into what.
It's cereal box prizes, new loot. What do you got?
I got so excited by what Willow was showing me, and it was like inches from the screen. Like, ooh, okay, well, okay. So into the box, Batman. Of course,
Is this Batman and the Outsiders?
And the Outsiders. That's correct.
So-
Look at that.
So I loved this series as a kid.
Okay, so there's some fashion, there's some action, there is some spiciness going on.
What
I'm just
issue
gonna
is that?
warn you, this is issue Oh wow! I can't really tell. It's part 3, the truth about Looker Transfiguration. I'm not
Well,
Wait,
so it's in the top right corner,
right here.
Aubrey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
in the
says
white
30.
issue number 30.
30.
Okay.
Up there. Okay, so we have a Voltron Force advertisement in the back. Full color. Real pretty. Okay, and then right the first page, we have a advertisement getting ready.
For the monogram models, yeah.
Yeah, the old models. And next door, the first page for Batman and the Outsiders. Batman's getting into some stuff, okay? There's some destiny going on with this character. I will say I did read this comic in full. And okay, well, let's fast forward to the end because I'm one of those people. There's the next comic to come out in this series. Full transformation with that character. So, and then of course I had to show off another one of the awesome minis because loot, when you get to go to one of those small toy shops. Look at that.
So Mask is rumored to be part of the Energon universe, the G.I. Joe Transformers universe.
Ooh.
And it's a much beloved series and toy line, but as a kid, I never had Mask. I don't remember watching Mask.
Check this
There's
out,
Clark
guys.
Kent.
A
Yeah.
year subscription.
So,
Subscription. Do you
I
see
miss
this?
these ads.
I miss these ads. Like, I'm that person, okay?
Yeah.
We're talking about shops that no longer exist anymore in these addresses and these ads, okay? They can only do reprints of these guys. They can't do, and there's a lot of ads in this one. Look at Buster Gold. Come on, who doesn't know Buster Gold? If you don't know Buster Gold, you don't know comics, okay? I'm
Well,
just saying.
so I love the ads. I miss the ads. But even more than that, I miss subscriptions. I miss getting comics in the mail at my house.
Okay, I never got them in the mail. I was the
I
kid who added up all of my little pennies and quarters and was like, okay, I can afford this magazine and then no, I'm putting all those back so I can get this comic and this comic and this comic. And then the rest is for when I go to the pinball machine because I will win that, which I never did. But it was really fun trying.
Well, it was funny. I was like 12 years old when I found out that Archie Comics, Marvel Comics, and the Barbie magazine all came from the same place.
Right? So yeah.
Ryan
right.
is waiting patiently. He
Ryan.
hates he hates how we're handling those vintage comics, Aubrey. Ryan's having a little come apart inside himself. He's like, oh, the collectors are
It's from
dying to split that.
1985, by the way. Just one more thing. 1985.
Ryan, do you have any
original
prizes?
version.
Ryan, do you have any prizes from the cereal box this morning?
Not at the moment, but I am proud to say I support small business owners because I bought some of their stuff during the the weekly version of sales that they're doing right now. Considering we're in the middle of what is known as Black Friday, and also today's Small Business Saturday, so make sure you support small businesses while you're at it. But yeah, so bottom line is I don't have anything to share here in the flesh physically, but guess what? Stay tuned to our social media and you'll find out some of the greatness that's coming your way very soon. But fun fact about Mask, though, one of the first interviews we ever conducted on our channel was with Doug Stone, who voiced Matt Tracker on that television series.
So cool.
So if you want to go back and relive your childhood, go ahead and watch our interview with Doug Stone, who was Matt Tracker from Mask, Mobile Armored Strike Command. Yes, this was long before my time, but I still know things. So
I love it. I love it. Cade, you got any prizes from the cereal box this morning?
I do. But quick shout out. Since it's Small Business Saturday, why don't you go be a super friend on patreon.com/cerealboxpodcast. Donate a little bit to the show. Help this thing keep on rocking because it's awesome and we need your support. All right.
I love that, Cade. Thank you so much.
Right on. So I actually do have a couple things. I do. And I got some pictures for you. Now, this one's a little bit older, and I'm going to describe it for people in the audio version in particular. We have a custom pop figure of both me and my co-host, Jiggy the Piggy, and his banjo. This was gifted to us, gifted by a super fan. And you can see they got his likeness pretty spot on. I mean, he's even got the banjo in his hands. It's awesome.
Well, and I got to ask, Jiggy, what do you think about this?
He thinks that he liked the color of the banjo. It matches very, very much with his own. So yeah, he actually suggested that I put it in a really solid plastic. I have not gotten the solid plastic case quite yet, but it's in a very secure position. It's no longer on my desk here.
That is cool.
Thank you so much. I was so excited to get it because it's like, a custom pop figure. It feels like you made it. I got this too. This was accidentally purchased. It is. Cool. I say accidental. It really was an accident.
Accidentally purchased.
It really was an accident. So, Michael Pervone, I think his name is Pervone on Twitter, told me he reached out. He's like, "Hey man, I don't know if you knew this, but there's actually a Here Comes Garfield album out there." And I'm like, "What? I never had the album, so I wanted the album." I was like, because he told me there's some very specific tracks on here, like "Move Me" by Desiree Goyette. That was on here, and there's this one about life is just a roller coaster ride. Like some of these songs were not in the 1982 Here Comes Garfield special, so I of course bought it. And I thought, because I'm pretty sure the listing said it was a CD. So this is a record, and it is so awesome. Cool. It is awesome.
So, Cade, when Here Comes Garfield came out, there was no such thing as CDs.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense. I thought maybe they put it on after a while, or even a cassette.
It may have ended up that way, but I had this record. When
awesome.
I was a kid, I had this record and I sold it at a garage sale for 25 cents.
Oh wow!
It's probably worth 50 times that now.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
probably worth 50 grand. You just walked away from 50 grand.
Well, I don't know about that. I paid $8.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
Well,
yeah,
on the market, that's a different color. It might be worth more.
Maybe.
It's worth a lot to me. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Hey, speaking of collectibles and new loot prizes from the cereal box, we've got another 3-year anniversary message from Hitchhiker Toys. Check this out.
Hey, it's Jamie at Hitchhiker Toys. Just wanted to wish Back of the Cereal Box a happy 3rd anniversary. We appreciate everything you do for the community, our store, and your podcast. If you haven't visited us in White House, Tennessee, we hope that you can swing by. We're also available online, hitchhikertoys.com.
Cool.
They are awesome. That is one of those stores that every time you go in, you see something that you need.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? You cannot leave there empty-handed.
Uh-oh.
Love that place. Love that place. And by the way, New Loot was brought to you by the Tales of the Decoverse book series, available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, wherever you get books. And ladies, gentlemen, it is time for our main topic, Saturday matinee movies, the movies that you watched on the living room floor, curled up in a blanket on the floor, in the beanbag chair with pillows stacked around you. And this is brought to you by Nightly Spirits. NightlySpirits.com. Use my promo code JohnP667 for holiday hauntings. There'll be scary ghost stories and tales of the glories of Christmases long, long ago. And this week on Saturday Matinee Movies, we are talking about one of Willow's all-time favorite movies. We are talking about Batman, Mask of the Phantasm. And I thought I had a show card here, but this will do Batman, Mask of the Phantasm. And Willow, Cade saved me a bunch of time and sent me screenshots. So if you will, Willow, I'm going to give you first crack at this.
Okay.
Talk about why you love this movie so much. And as you do, I'm just going to flip through some of the screenshots as you chat, but tell us about Mask of the Phantasm.
All right, so I became a huge fan of this particular movie growing up in foster care, and that is me in my Phantasm costume. I do need to upgrade it a little bit, but the mask is actually a Slipknot mask. It's what I saw at the costume shop when building this costume. And I'm like, okay, that's close enough. I will get it. I just had to modify it just a little bit, but not too much. But I think this, I had a lot of my friends very happy to see this costume. Not many people do this costume, I've noticed. So I'm so happy that I got a chance to build it. The scythe or the sickle. My husband made it out of a rubber ball at the end, and like some kind of tumbler thing. I'm not sure what he used for the tumbler, but yeah. So yeah, it if I were to punch the wall, it would definitely bounce back at me. But the cape itself is made from a hobbit cape, so it could double as a hobbit costume as well. And then yeah, just normal rubber gloves and or like costuming gloves and black shirt and black pants. But what was it that attracted me to this movie?
Well, by comparison, Aubrey or Willow. So here's Willow's costume. Here's the real thing.
Nice.
I mean, that's pretty dang close. Yep.
I have to modify the hood so that it actually stays up a little bit.
Gotcha. So tell us about Mask of the Phantasm.
The art is what drew me to this movie. It very much has like the Batman animated feel to it, but with more of a serious tone to it. Definitely adult themed. I mean, I was 10 when this movie came out, 12 when this movie came out. But I don't know, something about it just I loved, and the script, the writing, the whole cinematography of it, everything, like even the music is beautiful in this. It's one of those movies that is like a tearjerker as well. So if you're a serious comic collector or Batman lover, be very aware that you may cry during this movie. But yeah, I just wish that there was more to this character with the Batman series. Johnny, you're muted.
You're one who wanted to see more of the Phantasm after this movie.
Yes. Yes.
So we're not going to spoil it just yet. If you've not seen this movie, there are some surprises that happen along the way, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. So as Ryan Permison pointed out, this came out in 1993. It is by the same creative team as Batman the Animated Series, written by Paul Dini, illustrated by Bruce Timm and his whole team, voiced by Kevin Conroy as Batman, Mark Hamill as the Joker, and of course we were introduced to the new character, the Phantasm. And this is a story where the Phantasm is murdering criminals and Batman is getting blamed for it. And a rogue police force led by what's his name? Help me,
Detective
Ryan.
Bullock. Harvey Bullock.
They about take out the Batman in this, which again, rewatching this surprised me that the Batman was so easily cornered. And anyway, because Bullock doesn't strike me quite as the competent cop, but that's just me. And you know, I watched this movie on a blanket on the floor on a Saturday afternoon, or I should say, tried to watch this movie. It was a movie that my current wife, but then girlfriend, and I tried to watch when we were in college. Tried to watch, and I didn't remember very much about it. I wonder why. But
I wasn't aware that this was a romantic makeup movie.
It is now. It is now. But
Ryan,
but
you're
no,
muted.
but so the reason, you know, I wanted to watch it. She wanted to watch something with me because, you know, we were into each other. Anyway, that's a whole nother story for another show. But Aubrey, I'm assuming you saw this when it first came out and you watched it again. Like Cade, you've got pages and pages of notes.
Okay. Yes. Sorry. So Willow, you do know that she comes back, right?
Yeah, later on in the series.
Okay.
I know that there was one. There was also Batman Beyond episode of her in it as well.
I was gonna say she is actually Andrea Beaumont actually bounces in and out of this story of Batman like quite often, actually, guys. First of all,
that's who we're talking about, Andrea.
Yes, Andrea Beaumont. She is a very talented, well, rich girl. She just is, okay, in this story. But she is more than that. When I say very talented, she is a badass. We watch in this movie as she takes a brand new, not quite yet fully suited Batman and puts him on his bum, on the grass in his lawn as Alfred goes, "Oh, sir." And then I like how many times in this movie did Alfred had to walk away with the tray because they were busy?
About 3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah, right. So like definitely a romance for Batman, and you see Batman really struggle. And this is like in every Batman movie, obviously we see the heartache. We see the tears, we see the childhood trauma again and again and again. If you have childhood trauma, veer away from Batman. If you cannot handle the PTSD flashbacks or whatever. But in this movie, Batman is torn up, and there's this girl talking to her mom. And by the way, when she drives away, she's still talking to mom. So, but this woman is very talented in many different worldly ways that most people who are not, blessed with a rich family cannot accomplish. But something happens to Daddy, and I don't want to spoil either, because this movie is worth the watch. And if you haven't heard of Andrea Beaumont and you haven't heard of this character, I mean, the Phantasm is a beautiful creation. I know. Okay, wait, go back to Joker just for a real quick. Okay, come on, guys. I love the Joker. Do you see the fierceness on this redhead's face? She is going to wring this man's neck if she can physically. She also almost dies. And the brand new Batman motorcycle, what is it called, guys? I don't remember.
The Bat Cycle.
The Bat Cycle gets destroyed. Like, Batman must love her. Come on, guys, because like that we didn't see like but minutes of that thing before it was destroyed. There's a lot of continuity things I will say about this movie. Timey-wimey stuff. If you're a fan of Doctor Who, there's a lot of timey-wimey. When this movie takes place in the timeline is like between 92 and 94. There's a lot of discussion about that actually as to exactly when this happens. But if you look in the movie, if you like tidbits, there's a newspaper article. By the way, these producers, these designers, these writers, they have little bits of like 1990s and 1980s sprinkled all over this animated series and the comic. So it's kind of convoluted. But
so Aubrey, let me stop you right there. So the exact term for that style aesthetic is diesel punk. They blended elements from the 1930s and 40s with technology from the 80s and 90s to create a diesel punk aesthetic. And if people, that's my thing. I love diesel punk and hosted the Diesel Punk podcast for 10 years. And so people who are into diesel punk consider Batman the Animated Series to be one of the quintessential diesel punk properties. So continue.
Okay, so go back if you want to, if you have already seen this movie, and check out the fact that not only do we have the original voice actor for some of our favorite Joker moments, Mark Hamill, but we also have Arlene Sorkin, rest in peace, our beloved Harley voice that we will never have the same identical again. Yes, we can get other copycats, but no one will be the same Harley. And she was playing Bambi in this movie, a little black-haired girl that was dancing on the piano at one point, But I will say that there is a lot of little tidbits in the newspaper article. You get a quote, and Brandemsky Press. Someone's innocent, and then there's some tidbits here and here. There's a WB symbol in the cemetery at one point, which is why we have our cemetery background. Because, but also, if you take aside all the little tidbits, yes, the Wayne mourning is going through this whole story. And honestly, I'm going to put the details down. I love the music. Also, Willow. I love the voice actors. I think having the original. Yes.
Aubrey, did you say that the newspaper was Radomski Press?
Yes, that's what it says.
That's awesome, because that's the director of the movie.
Yep.
Eric Radomski.
Yep, and it says, "I'm innocent." That he argues he's innocent about something.
So
there's lovely sarcasm. We've got the petulant child, Batman being reminded by Alfred that he had his bum changed by him. That was a good moment.
Oh, he is a sassy bat dead butler. Yes, he is.
He's a sassy man in this one.
So I want to pick up on something you just mentioned, Aubrey. Talking about Bruce Wayne and dealing with grief and trauma, and I thought this was completely out of character for Bruce Wayne. He was considering giving up everything he did as the Batman. Here he is at the grave of his parents because he is torn over his duty to his pledge to his parents versus his desire to want to be with with Andrea. And I just felt like that was way out of character for him.
Okay,
But
so I would like
go
to
ahead,
address
Cade.
that also, if
Yes,
you don't
go
mind.
ahead, Cade.
It's actually not just about Andrea here. It's about the actual commitment to the role of the Batman. So,
Yep.
according to an interview with Time Magazine, I want to say the writer in this movie was he really understood the material. One of the writers, apart from Alan Burnett, was Michael Reeves, and Reeves noted in this interview that the line at Bruce's parents' grave when he comes out to them to talk and ask them to be able to give up this vendetta, he says, "I didn't count on being happy." Now
Yep.
that line in particular is what we need to zone in on here, homies. We got to focus in on that line. I didn't count on being happy, because Reeves noted that this was a pivotal moment for Bruce's tragic life, denying himself the opportunity to live a normal life. So, Andrea does not just represent love here. She also represents any ounce of normality that Bruce could potentially have.
Yep.
He is literally denying this part of himself towards the end of the it's not necessarily the end, but sort of in the culmination of all these events. He denies himself this chance of normalcy. So this was him begging for the chance of a normal life, but it did set up the eventual commitment to the role of the Batman. And to us at Cartoon Commotion, Jiggy and myself, we believe that this take on Batman is the one true, authentic, and definitive version of the character because of this line. The fact that this movie zones in on the most legit important part of Batman's core identity, his morals, his code as a crime fighter, this distinction between his actions and evil, the justification for his method of justice, the fine line between him and the path of pure vengeance that his lost love took. Him becoming Batman, and Andrea, well, spoilers, as a homie once told us, the bittersweet, tragic love story of Batman was this movie. This was the death of a normal life for Bruce and the beginning of a legend.
That was really good, Cade. How long did you rehearse that?
That's not rehearsed. I actually had a whole video on it.
that was a quote. That was a quote from a movie. I was hoping you
my
would
bad.
pick up on it. That's okay.
I totally slipped on that.
No, that's okay. But Jiggy gave me hell about that too. So anyway, no, that was a line from Ocean's 11.
Oh, okay.
Between,
Yes. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, between George Clooney and Brad Pitt.
Sound a little rushed. Did I rush it? Did I rush it? No, you didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
I need
Ryan
elevators.
would pick that
dude,
up.
that was a great dude. That whole spiel about him taking down the house and stuff, like that's just I love that speech. It's so good.
Yeah, and Brad Pitt says that was really good. Did you rehearse that?
Sounded like I rushed it. Did I rush it a little bit? No, you didn't rush it. No.
Yeah. Anyway, it was good. Anyway,
good.
So Ryan, your thoughts on Mask of the Phantasm? Well, and before you answer this, I want to ask you this question.
Yeah.
I asked you this before we went live. As a kid watching this, did the revelation of who the Phantasm really was, or wait, is that right? Who it was?
Yeah.
Did it surprise you? Did it shock you? Or did you see it coming a mile away like I did?
Well, first time I saw the movie, which was many, many years ago, it's aka 30 years ago because we're dating ourselves. But that's okay because when you're a kid, you don't understand how the world works. You don't know how things work when you're 6, 7, 8 years old. You don't know what's going on. So the first time I saw this epic film, I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. I was like, whoa, really? Because, up to this point, I mean, granted, I was watching other TV series at the time, don't get me wrong, but I was under the impression that everything that happens in Gotham is committed by dudes because there's a lot of killing. But, to see that it was spoilers for a movie that turns 30 next month, which we'll be doing a 30th anniversary watch along for that, by the way. So stay tuned for that, fellas. Everyone's invited to be in the chat for that, of course. But anyway, yeah, I was shocked. I couldn't believe my eyes. But now when you watch it 30 years later, and I watched this last night, #research purposes, I you can see it coming a mile away because the flashbacks kind of give it away too. But at the same time, it's a heck of a movie, and it impacts you, it hits you, in the beginning, the middle, and the end too. And the other thing is voice casting is everything. It's perfect. I mean, who'd have thunk that a young woman known as Dana Delaney not only voices, what was her name? Andy, Andrea? Yes, Andrea Beaumont. Goes from playing that to Lois Lane in less than 2-3 years in the same universe between the Bats and the Soups. That's insanity. And that's called it's called range. So
but her voice
right.
is so perfect though.
It is.
I mean,
it
she
is.
kills
He
it
does a
in every
great job.
single role that Dana Delaney has done, voice casting wise. Live action, I haven't seen too much of your work, Dana. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
I got a little bit of
You
homework.
should.
No, I'm not saying she's bad in live action. I'm just saying I haven't seen a whole lot of her work. Okay?
What was that? What was
Don't
that
come at me
TV
in the
show that
comments.
she starred on? China Beach.
I don't know about that, but she was the love interest. She was the love interest in Tombstone with Kurt Russell. She was in a TV series that lasted 2 minutes, but probably should have lasted longer. Body of Proof,
Yes. Yeah.
which was on ABC. That was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Hashtag that's a different franchise. But Dana Delaney's got range.
Oh yeah.
I mean, playing the DID and the first, iteration of this movie, and then like later on we find out who she really is. I'm like, dang, man, Dana Delaney, how long you been rehearsing this? Man, woman.
Was it rushed? Did I rush it? It felt a little bit rushed. Anyway,
no, seriously, no, it's a great film. It's a great film, hand over fist.
So here's a little secret.
Yeah,
because I think I'm probably the only one on the show that is old enough to have seen it when it came out. This movie did not receive critical acclaim. Fans did not like this movie. It was panned. It flopped at the box office. And for years afterwards, people maligned it as a horrible Batman movie. That people said it should have just been a single episode of the show. They held up Sub-Zero as the superior Batman animated series movie for years. And only in recent time has this become like a fan favorite. It's been like a flip.
Yeah,
and I don't know. And I had the same experience when I saw it when it was brand new. Of course, I saw it on VHS the year that it came out.
I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you if it was theater or VHS, because theater
on VHS later.
There was a serious problem that this movie it occurred to this movie. I guess you could say is executive issues.
Well, I don't remember it playing in a theater near me.
You wouldn't.
It came and went with a whisper.
It
came out.
Sorry, it only played like a select few theaters.
Yeah, and it was like Christmas weekend and the week after that, and then it just went away because it bombed, didn't make any money, no one cared. There was little to no marketing for it at all, and then it became a huge thing on home video, which is how me and my everyone sitting at this table.
Oh yeah,
found it.
I saw it on VHS. I saw it on VHS. Probably. Oh, I've seen this movie probably 30, 40 times.
Ooh, that's more than me. Wait, what about you, Ryan? How many times have you seen it?
I think Cade and I are in the same ballpark because I remember watching this quite a bit when I was a kid, and then as I got older and a little wiser, and as you can see, I'm the scruffy-looking nerve herder with this good-looking beard, by the way. So
it's no shave, no them beard.
Yeah, but I will say this: I'm going to give you a spoiler for our viewers and our listeners. This is going away tomorrow. So I'm going to look 15 years younger.
Oh no!
The next time you see me, so I'm sorry to disappoint.
Willow, how many times have you seen this?
Look,
Ryan, you already look so young. It's gonna be you're gonna be like really, really young after this.
I know.
So this is why Ryan is the great derailer. Willow, how many times have you seen this movie?
I probably saw it a good 30 some odd times. So as a kid. I don't know. I think I lost count because this is one. It's like, even with Beetlejuice, like I went through a huge phase where I'd watch this movie when it was like one of my depression movies. Like whenever I felt like down in the dumps or something, this movie was that movie that I'd throw in and just like mope through. And then as years progressed, I think I'd watch it like once every year. So yeah, I think now I kind of just watch it whenever I get a chance to.
It's a good
I've
one.
seen it exactly 2 times.
Oh wow.
Those are rookie numbers in this racket. You got to boost those numbers up, man.
Yeah. I
Okay,
saw it when it originally released on VHS. Didn't watch it again until this week.
Oh,
Wow. That's like
Ooh,
watching
that's
it all over again for the first time.
Yeah, it
Mhm.
really was, because I didn't remember 90% of it. The only thing that I remembered was the reveal of who the Phantasm was. And we won't spoil it for those of you who are watching, but it did not take me by
already did.
surprise.
Been out for 30 years.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard to talk about the timeline of this movie without spoiling.
You know, you could just,
No,
in a parallel universe, this is a standalone movie, in my opinion. It's a standalone.
Okay. See, now that's something that I want to address too, Ryan. I don't think so because of how the Phantasm comes back in Batman Beyond. It is definitely a canon event. It takes place in Batman's timeline. And Johnny, we're talking about like how Batman, like how he was so easily taken down by the cops. I'm pretty sure there's a very good reason for that. I believe, and like if we're looking at everything this movie was based on, that technically this is only Batman's 3rd year as Batman.
Mm,
He's like just getting into the role.
early days.
So
way early.
he's not yet encountered all of this. Some of the things that he's encountered, it's gonna be kind of like clockwork. He's used to thugs and criminals. He took down a whole ring of mobsters at the start of the movie. But like as things progress, and he got into like the serious trap situation at that construction site, he honestly didn't have a backup plan because he never ever expected that. And then I believe from that moment on is where he pretty much has a contingency for every contingency.
So this is when Harvey Bullock was smart and he knew what he was doing as a cop before he went on a strict diet of coffee and donuts. He had a huge amount of brains and brawn to take out Batman because he had like 50 dudes at the construction
I want to say I
site.
don't think he was very smart in this. I just think that he had a vendetta. He had a goal. And this movie is literally all about vendettas and goals. It is all about it. Like from the start to the end of the movie, it is about vengeance. There's an entire speech by Alfred at the end of the movie where he explains the plot verbatim to Batman. He's just like, listen, I do not want to spoil the movie if I say the word for word line, but basically it's the quote is about falling into the abyss of vengeance.
Yes.
And the idea is that Bruce took a path that was like, I guess you would say was the more difficult path to take because it's so easy to just become completely consumed by vengeance instead of choosing justice. So that's what, for me, that's what this is. And for Jiggy too. And, going back a little bit, we want to talk a little bit about how the movie was originally intended to be just a VHS, direct to VHS release. So this was actually, the original film was cut and storyboarded, framed for a square television at the time. It was definitely not theater material. They never planned on it releasing in a theater, so it's no wonder.
That's why it feels like an episode of the series.
It was. They literally, I think it was Alan, or it was either Alan Burrett or Michael Reeves in another interview said that it was supposed to be just an extended episode for TV release. But what happened was they were off in, I want to say it was Asia, wherever they were doing the animation. There was like between Asia and some other place. And they got a call from the executives at Warner. They're like, no, we want to put this in theaters. And it was like towards the end of production. So they're like, hold up, we don't have any of this prepared for theater, and they're just like, we don't care. And they stretched out the aspect ratio, and that's why all these screenshots are actually in wide frame. Those were originally just square, and they pushed it into theater release for that, for this being like the biggest, the first ever feature length film. of Batman the animated series in an animated environment, and for that reason, it bombed at the box office. It was really, we mentioned, it was due to a lack of advertising, and nobody, if nobody knows a movie's going to happen, and plus it's a Christmas Day and released in 1993, like why would anyone make the journey out to see this movie if they didn't even know it existed? That's a problem.
Yeah. See, and I understand why they would do it on Christmas Day, because by the time this movie came out, Christmas Day had become a huge release day for movies. There are millions of families around the country, like mine, that Christmas Day movies is a tradition. We go to the movies on Christmas.
Interesting.
So that is, probably one of their reasons, but it was not advertised very well. It had a limited release, and it was not accepted fondly by the fan base. And even back then in 1993, word of mouth spread quickly. We didn't have the internet back then to review bomb the Marvels, #great movie. People, the word got out quick. Hey, don't bother, just watch the show on TV. So
yeah,
and it was less than a year removed from Batman Returns.
Yeah,
that movie had come out
that's
the year
another
prior,
thing.
so everyone was still caught up in Batmania, brother. And then
They
this
were.
comes out, and they're like,
So
it's an
it was-
animated series. Who cares?
well, it was the solo of the Batman IP,
Because the other
Yeah.
two were connected, yeah. Mysteriously.
because Solo, a Star Wars story, came
That movie
out.
happened?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that movie happened.
it's actually a
sorry.
great movie.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. Hashtag
Yeah, it
no,
is.
it's not.
Yeah, hashtag
okay.
it's Star Wars. Star Wars is oxygen.
No, it's not. You
Okay,
can put it in the
so-
corner.
Just wanted
I
to
will
point out one thing really quick.
Mhm.
So if you're interested, if you've seen this movie and you're interested in what happens exactly after the end of this movie, where do Joker go? Where does Andrea go right after
Yes.
this movie? If you want to know, Batman and Robin Annual #1, the comic.
Mm.
Okay, hang on.
#1,
Writing this down.
exactly. Batman and Robin Annual #1. That is, it picks up exactly where this movie lives off.
Now,
Exactly.
hang on. Are we talking about the adventures
comic.
of
The
comic?
comic. Mhm.
But is
Batman and Robin
it
Annual.
is it literally in the continuity of the animated series, though, or are we talking about a regular comic?
This
like,
movie picks up directly. This
Well,
movie
yeah,
stops that
Well,
comic.
hold on,
right
hold
after.
on, hold on, guys. So let's set the distinction, because Cade is asking a very specific question,
Uh-huh.
because there was the Batman and Robin comic series,
Mhm.
but there was also a Batman Adventures series,
Mhm.
which was the animated version of Batman and Robin. So here it is: Batman and Robin Adventures Annual #1
Yes.
is
Okay,
where
so
it
is
happened.
adventures. All
Yes.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it seemed like
So
every
that's an
every
important distinction.
every cartoon based comic book usually starts with adventures.
The adventures.
So-
Well,
Hey,
right
guys, we
after
got
that,
some-
Grayson is in college. Dick Grayson is in college
Right.
when this story is happening.
Yeah, and he's
Well,
starting to have the thoughts.
Okay, so that does clear up some confusion, because I did want to talk about the timeline.
Well, hold on. Let's get there in just a minute. But
Okay.
let me just add that the Batman and Robin Adventures
Mhm.
is considered official canon
Mm.
for the Batman the Animated Series.
Mhm.
So just
Excellent.
FYI. Now, we got some viewer comments. I want to go through these. I don't want to ignore our fans. Jason XO659 says Batman the Animated Series dominated my neighborhood at 4:30 p.m. No one was outside.
Mhm.
And Dave Mattingly says, nice Phantasm cosplay, Willow.
Rocking it,
Thank
Willow.
you.
It's interesting
It
that
was so
Jason
good.
says that about 4:30 p.m. Because Batman the Animated Series started as a Saturday morning cartoon series. Only later did it move to Saturday afternoons.
Fox Kids.
Dave Mattingly says James Gunn is a great choice for the new head of DC, but for a long time, I was hoping they'd put Bruce Timm in charge of the DCEU. And they did for a brief period. For a brief shining moment, he
For
was
2 minutes.
the head of creative and then was let go.
Mm.
And oh, look, Ivy Roman is watching. And she says, love you guys. Love Ivy Roman. Love you too, Ivy.
We miss
And
you, Ivy.
and Dave Mattingly says, quickly to the bat pole.
No.
That was how anyway.
That's an NC-17 comment.
Yeah, that's how I watched it with anyway. Okay, so Zentron says about that Batman Beyond episode, it was
Epilogue.
a Justice League episode that they crossed Batman Beyond into.
It's called Epilogue.
And next month, says Dave Mattingly, will be the 30th anniversary of this movie,
That's right.
December 26, 1993. So had I known that before we planned this, I would have planned it closer to that anniversary.
It's okay, that's what our channel's for.
Yeah. Tabby
We're
Cat
ahead of the
says,
game, Johnny.
Tabby Cat says any movie is a makeout movie if you try.
I would
LOL.
disagree with that.
No,
I disagree vehemently.
Well, that's because you don't have a girlfriend, Ryan.
Whoa, way to throw me under the
Johnny.
Dave
that's kinda
Mattingly says even Mary Lou Henner did voice work on Phantasm.
Who was she?
Ooh.
Was she
I
one of
don't
the
know.
girlfriends in that scene?
I don't know, but Tabby Cat says it really is the best Batman series, talking about Batman the Animated Series. I disagree, but that's another episode. And Dave Mattingly, like many of us, did not see this movie in the cinemas, but I loved it when I saw it on TV later.
Good stuff.
And that's really where it built its fan base, is on VHS and on TV reruns. And it is currently available for free, as one of our viewers, Chris Goins, pointed out, on Tubi. If you don't have HBO Max, you can watch it for free on Tubi.
And you can rent it on Amazon, like I did.
Yep. And Eli T. Cash says there's damsels and then there's dames. Andrea was definitely the latter. The 90s had a hashtag pulp renaissance at the time with Mask of the Phantasm, The Phantom, The Rocketeer, and such. Yes.
Jennifer Connelly.
All diesel punk movies.
Beautiful women, too.
And Jason XO0659
Yeah.
says, my favorite part was when Batman knocked out the Joker's tooth when he hit him with a toy building.
Basically,
And they kept the continuity of the tooth missing.
wow.
Yeah, and Dave Mattingly says, Jason, having Batman and Joker as mini kaiju was a fantastic setting.
Kaiju!
Totally.
That was gorgeous.
And Tabby Cat says, I literally wore out a VHS of Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
It's not surprising. Not
I
surprising
believe
to
it.
anyone.
Need another one.
Eli T. Cash says, Mask of the Phantasm was your visual Ben and Jerry's.
Wow, that's an interesting way of looking at things, isn't it?
For Willow.
Oh, for Willow, it was Ben and Jerry's, right? I'm sorry, that was your favorite ice cream back then.
It was, strangely enough, it was a comfort movie. Same thing with the Beetlejuice. I don't know what it was.
There's a million movies that are comfort food for us. There's a million movies.
For me, it's Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Those aren't pillows.
Okay.
That
Those
movie
aren't
makes me
pillows.
laugh out loud every single time. If I'm sick, I watch Plane, Trains, and Automobiles, and I immediately feel better.
Yeah.
And Eli T. Cash says, I'm glad you don't go full cray-cray, Master Bruce. And Dave Mattingly says, when you stare into the abyss, Batman stares back at you.
We lost Aubrey.
We broke Aubrey.
We broke Aubrey 50 times during this show.
And Jason and I are now friends because he enjoyed Solo.
Whatever. You can be in your little corner. That's fine.
It's a great movie.
It's a very
This
little
is my
corner.
show. It's a great movie.
Use your own show to bash movies if you so wish.
Oh, don't worry. We do it every week on the Nerdy Cantina.
And Zentron says, just a little note before I pop out, but it's been revealed that a lot of the Marvels. Oh, we're not. Anyway.
Oh.
Sorry,
Conspiracy
Zentron.
theories,
We're not going to get into that political morass.
Not live.
Conspiracy theories.
We'll do it later in the comments.
We'll do it later off script.
Eli T. Cash says, "Welcome to the club, Ryan." Apparently, Eli is not a fan of Solo either.
Yeah,
And
baby.
you're both wrong.
The movie never happened, and no one asked for it. That's
Honestly, I think it was okay. I mean,
it had its moments, yeah, but at the same time, it's like we didn't need this.
my favorite part was when Solo met Chewbacca.
Mm.
My favorite. That was my favorite.
You people have
And
said that.
and I think the movie probably could have been even better if it just had a little bit more Solo in it.
Well, so here's the thing about that movie. Ryan's right. Nobody really asked for it.
We didn't need it.
We didn't need it
at all.
And I went into the movie with that mindset. I went in to watch it because it is Star Wars and Star Wars is oxygen. And I left the theater pleasantly pleased and surprised. I really enjoyed it. It was a great train heist movie. And I like that. So anyway, but we're not talking about Star Wars this morning. We're talking about
we can do that
Batman
next week.
The animated series. Oh, Eli T. Cash says, "Welcome to the club. I was talking about not having a girlfriend, Ryan."
Look. It'll happen one of these days. I just haven't found my Andrea Beaumont yet, okay? Just let it go.
Yeah. Hold on to that.
Oh, no. You don't find Andrea. Andrea finds you. You should be in a cemetery and you should be talking to a gravestone.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
There you go. Ryan, there you go.
Just remember, ladies, before you start dating Ryan, you're gonna have to go through a vetting process by his big sister because I don't want to see him
you're
getting
definitely you might want to keep the beard on though, Ryan. I'm just saying.
It'll grow back. It'll grow back.
So here's the thing.
Happens all the time.
For last week we talked about Transformers the movie, and the Autobot Cup
G1
being able to talk to the Junkions because he was able to speak TV. Yep. Whoever dates Ryan has got to be able to speak movie quotes.
Oh, well, there you go. That's fair.
That helps.
Bring a playbook with
you want to talk, that's a turn on for sure, but and you gotta take things with a grain of salt because no one is perfect. So you just gotta
first date, bring him a book, Ryan. Bring him a book. Write it all down. Write it all down, bring it up to him and say, before we continue this process, you must agree to the terms and conditions.
Yeah, that's a great conversation to bring up on the first date at the coffee shop for sure.
Oh, stewardess!
No, man.
Oh, stewardess! I speak movies.
I understood what you were getting at with that, Dave.
That's from Dave Mattingly.
Suggesting that Ryan be dating him? I'm missing.
Wait, hang on. What?
No.
I'm talking about when he goes on a date.
Yeah, Andrea Beaumont will find me. That's the key.
So, are we implying, according to Eli T. Cash, that Andrea is Chuck Norris? You don't find Andrea finds you?
She could be.
I mean...
My favorite Chuck Norris movie is Sidekicks, so full disclosure.
So guys, we've picked this thing apart. We've shared our views on Batman, the animated series Mask of the Phantasm movie. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. It was better than Cats. I'll see it again and again.
Anything is better than Cats.
No, that's not true. I'm talking about the original stage musical production, Ryan.
There is a difference.
I was there for the stage production. I was there.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
No, it's not.
We do not diss a masterpiece of theater like Cats on Back of the Cereal Box.
No. We like musical theater here, don't we, Willow?
Memories. All alone in the moonlight. I can smile at the old days. I was beautiful then.
I like that show.
I always mess up the lyrics on purpose.
I like Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
So Cade, you'll appreciate this.
Okay.
I've in the back of my mind, I've thought I wanted to write a Broadway musical based on the infamous Donner Pass crossing party, the Donner Party. And those of you who don't know what, like, Aubrey's looking at us like, what are you talking about, Johnny? Go research the Donner Party. So with great hits like "Food, we have no food, but we can eat Larry," or "People, People who eat people
Oh,
are the craziest people in the world. Or that 11 o'clock number, memories. All that's left are her memories.
Oh my.
Boy,
The Donner
Okay.
Party, ladies
Oh,
and gentlemen,
this is
you're
strange.
welcome.
This is a strange thing that
For
just
the
happened.
worst.
We do
Johnny,
not
Johnny,
condone
are you sure
cannibal
Ryan's the one that
activism.
derails us?
No, seriously, Johnny puts me out to pasture when it comes to derailing stuff.
I haven't
Anyway.
even gotten to talk about the timeline.
We do not condone
The
cannibalism.
Donner
on this
musical,
channel.
the real friends are the ones that we ate along the way.
No, I don't know what that means, nor do I want to know what that means.
I mean, clearly it's talking about eating your friends.
That's not something I would ever do because I
No,
saw
no.
Silence of the Lambs and I'm just like, no.
All right. Talk about the timeline, Cade.
Look at Aubrey. We lost Aubrey for the 30th
Talk
time.
about the timeline of Mask of the Phantasm, and then take us out.
Well, if we don't have time, it's okay. But
No, we have time. This is an extra long episode for our.
What's the timeline?
Did I
again?
tell you? Did I remind
Yes,
you that
you
this
have
is our
mentioned.
3rd year
Yeah.
anniversary?
3rd year anniversary.
celebratory
Happy
thing.
anniversary, cereal box. Back
Back
of the cereal box.
Yeah. So, Cade, what about the timeline?
Okay, so I wanted to address it because Aubrey brought up the newspapers, and I was just like, I did not think about looking at the newspaper because, like, I watched through this thing like screenshot. All these screenshots are from watching the movie, and it's like literal zooming in on specific key events and stuff. And I looked at newspaper. I want to know what newspapers you saw in this, that because I am intrigued for dates and times specifically. I believe, as I mentioned earlier, that this happens in Batman's 3rd year because it is revealed that most of the film is based on the comic book arcs Batman Year 1 and Year 2. And in Year 3, we get introduced to Robin and his story, like his whole Zuko, the murder of his parents in the circus, all of that is basically revealed in Year 3. I'm not saying that's the first time it was ever revealed, but it in the timeline of events, right? Now, in that comic is strange too, because it's sort of like a flashback story. It takes place in modern and it flashes back to when all that happened. But the point is that was adapted in Robin's Reckoning in Batman the Animated Series. Okay, so all of these key events were basically taken from Year 1 and Year 2. Year 1 was like Batman getting into the role of Batman, figuring out who he is, getting the costume, everything. Those are all the flashbacks, every flashback. And then Year 2 is everything with the Phantasm. They bring that into Year 3, and that's what I'm about to explain. So Year 2 is where we get Phantasm's character. It is based on. I can't say it without saying it, man.
Okay, so for those of you who are wondering, I'm going to be the spoiler. Phantasm turns out to be none other than Bruce's love interest, Andrea Dumont. So,
Oh, thank you.
Andrea Beaumont.
that's what I said, Beaumont.
So her character is based on a character from Year 2 called the Reaper. And that's what her whole design is and everything. And in the actual, the genuine design department, they were talking about how she was supposed to be based kind of after the ghosts of Christmas Yet to Come, the spirit of Christmas, and Joker makes a reference when they meet that she's the ghost of Christmas Yet to Come, and that was left in the movie, but that was all part of the design, right?
Oh, look, it's the ghost of Christmas Yet to Come.
Exactly. The actual time frame is kind of elusive because there's a couple articles online. Like if you go to the wiki, if you go to IMDb, if you go every place you go to check on this movie has a different timeline for it. So in my video, in our episode, it's a bonus episode called The Best Batman. I mentioned that the main storyline of the film takes place 10 years after the flashbacks in the movie, but some say it actually happens 15 years after. And so, like I said, it's kind of elusive, and that's why I want to focus in on the comic books, because if we're looking at Year 1 and Year 2 with all of this information, and we know that Robin didn't really get introduced as a ward until Batman Year 3, then what we have here is pretty much the starting point of Year 3.
Well, so the biggest indication of that is the fact that he's still struggling over whether he wants to continue his role as the Batman.
Well, wait, that actually happens Year 1.
Right, but in Year 15,
he goes to the cemetery twice. In the beginning of the story, when he first meets her.
And
those are all flashbacks, though.
My point is, if this, as some people have commentated, is 10 or 15 years later after Year 1, he would not be still struggling with
No.
He would have been totally locked into the persona, and it wouldn't even been a question. So just that fact indicates that it's earlier. But Cade, why is that important?
Why is it important that
we understand the timeline?
It's important that you understand the timeline because of where it happens in the animated series and how it develops Batman's character.
But why is that important?
Well, because Batman's path is like an example of, it could be an example of our paths and what we choose. Like, we got, on one hand, Andrea, she was suffering from the loss of her father, which she didn't want to get into. And she had already lost her mother, and she connected with Bruce because he lost his parents. And so what we have here is this, it's like two crossing paths of the same sort of origin, the same sort of vengeance.
I'm going to play Hecklefish for a minute. Oh, I thought it was just to give you something to argue with fanboys at the comic book shop over.
I mean,
for those of you who don't know who Hecklefish is,
Y-Files.
The Y-Files. You'll thank me.
Or the X-Files.
No,
Y-Files are great. They're really good. They're on. They have a whole YouTube show.
Yeah,
and it's also a podcast.
Never heard of it.
And you need to check it out, Willow. As the host of Cryptid Crunch, you need to be watching the Y-Files. You need a Hecklefish.
Why? Well, it's kind of like it's kind of like how I said earlier, though. It's like basically these are two converging paths of vengeance, and Bruce or Batman has to choose justice in order to be like basically the victor of that choice. And it's not necessarily a win. It's sort of a bittersweet victory because he loses that sense of normalcy. He loses I'm planning on making a complete in-depth deep dive on Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh my.
And I'm going to do sort of like an exclusive for supporters of Cartoon Commotion.
You can have me a Willow on.
Well,
I'd be glad to have you on.
So
you can have this dude on if you want. I don't care.
I'd be glad to have you on.
So here is the great thing about our show is that our goal is to reintroduce people to maybe forgotten favorites or get you interested enough to go check out something that we're really excited about. What Cade does is he will dissect this thing with a scalpel. And he will go into every little detail in minutia. And so before you watch Cade's overview on the show, go watch it again with my enthusiasm in mind. You know, I thought this was just a great, fun adventure. I didn't think it was too deep. I didn't think it was particularly, earth-shattering or revelatory. But it was fun. It was fun, well-paced, action adventure set in the Batman universe. Cade will make you examine your own childhood when he examines this.
He's got a PhD in this sort of thing.
Well, you can have fun and still go deep. I mean, the depth of stuff I think makes it more fun because I guess I get a kick out of exploring things with a more analytical lens. It's just sort of how I am.
And Cade, honestly, this movie is worth taking that depth with because not just do we have so many fans of this movie here on the screen today and out there viewing, but there's every right for them to have that belief because we are literally seeing the depth of Batman in this evolution created, the the background, the love interest. We see the Cade for the first time right when he's trying to propose to Andrea. So
Oh,
like,
yes.
there's so many big moments in this that shape the later series, and all the way from the comics and Batman Beyond. If you're a fan of that, which I am a fan of Batman Beyond, this was one of those Batmans that, if you're a fan of Batman universe at all, or Joker, or even just some of the side characters, there's a lot of stuff that's in here that you should definitely watch. It's like a staple.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So we're actually going to kind of wrap it up here. Just FYI, Aubrey and Cade, the newspaper is at timestamp 14 minutes.
Writing it
Says
down.
Dave
Thank you,
Mattingly.
Dave.
And Tabby Cat says, a friend of mine has a t-shirt that says, Hecklefish is my spirit animal.
This is a really good hecklefish.
Thank you. Maybe. Anyway. And then Jason XO659 says, I'd love to discuss The Dark Knight Returns like
That's a
this.
good movie too.
Yes,
That's a
good
good
one,
movie
good
too.
one,
That's a
good
great
one.
3-hour movie.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, Eli T. Cash, speaking of my Donner Party musical, says, and Johnny calls me messed up,
Yeah.
but Tabby Cat says, that is epic, Johnny. Yes, it is. You're welcome. All right. So it is time for us to wrap up, but final thoughts, Willow, on Batman Mask of the Phantasm, and go.
Batman has pretty much brought me and my friends together to celebrate, our love of the characters. And this is an actual photo of me and my friends when we filmed helped one of my friends film a video, and I will share the link on the Back with the Cereal Box Facebook page. The city of Winnipeg brought out their police because I guess people weren't sure about a bunch of costumers looking like we're fighting in the park. So the Winnipeg police decided to come in and investigate what we were doing, and we got ourselves a nice little photo with the boys in blue.
That's cool.
So the love of Batman brings people together, like it does here.
All right, Aubrey, final thoughts on Mask of the Phantasm.
One of the best Batman parts of the history that could ever exist. 1993 brought it out. It's still good today. It's still relevant, and they are still bringing out tidbits of this character, the Phantasm. From beginning to end, he had a love for her, and she had a desire to be together. It never ended up being, but we love watching what happens on the way. And as she said, always goodbye.
And Cade, we know that Jiggy loves the Batman, but what is your final thoughts on Batman Mask of the Phantasm?
I love it. I love it nostalgically. I love it as a deep psychological analysis of a dude that's like totally losing every sense of normalcy that he has to pursue a life that is completely devoted to making other people's lives better. It's amazing. It's my take, and my take is that it's the definitive Batman.
All right. Ryan, your final thoughts on Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
Not that I can top anything that our panelists just said. Gee whiz, you guys put me to shame out here. But here's the deal. I grew up watching this thing, and in my opinion, there's an argument to be made that this is one of the best comic movies ever made, one of the best Batman movies ever made, one of the best movies ever made, period, in the pantheon of cinema. So it's a great movie. If you've never heard of the name Batman, you never heard the name Bruce Wayne, this is a perfect entry point. You're going to learn everything and more about this character and the mythology and his rogues gallery and all this other stuff. Like, you're going to learn a lot in a 75-minute film, which is not an easy thing to do. by the way. It's not an easy thing to do for any filmmaker, cast, crew, whatever, but my hat's off to everybody who took part in this movie. I had the pleasure of meeting Kevin Conroy years ago. Rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. Every time I read a comic book, I hear your voice when Batman comes up on the page. So that's history right there. That's awesomeness. So great movie. Check it out if you've never seen it. It's definitely worth a watch, whether you know about this character or not. And it's certainly one of the better comic book movies that's ever been presented in any format. So check it out. Rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. And by the way, Mark Hamill, every time I hear Mark Hamill, I think of the devil incarnate. This character scared me as a child. He still does to this day. So yeah, he goes from playing Skywalker in a little indie film called Star Wars, and then he plays the Joker. So that's not only range, that's called greatness. So if you can be a great hero and then be the most terrifying villain in the history of the world, whether it's Mark Hamill or Heath Ledger's iteration, doesn't matter. Scares the heck out of me. Still does. So
Wait a
done.
minute. Did you list Heath Ledger as a definitive Joker before Jack Nicholson?
No. I'm just saying we don't have time to name all 50 iterations of this character, but Jack Nicholson is certainly one of my favorites. I'm just saying that, like, when it comes to like scaring the bejesus out of somebody, Mark Hamill can do it, and certainly Heath Ledger can do it.
Oh
He
no,
takes
no.
everything so seriously.
No.
It's
Ryan
very funny.
actually did a scene with a friend on the 1989 Batman, and it was phenomenal.
I was Bruce
thought-
Wayne once upon a time.
You were for a brief moment.
Yeah, go ahead and look it up.
I just have to give Ryan some grief.
No, I like Jack Nicholson. I love that movie.
Excellent.
I do.
So my final thoughts: Batman, Mask of the Phantasm, fun, action-packed adventure. I wouldn't call it the definitive Batman, but I would say that it is a great entry point, as Ryan did, and I would say it's enjoyable, and that it's definitely in a must-see, must-watch category for fans of Batman. So there you go. Ta-da! Well, guys, it is time for us to head on out. It is Small Business Saturday, so I am going to go support some small businesses and do my part. And you guys, Willow, where can people follow, find, and support you?
You can find me all over social media. I am the social media socialite. You can find me Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can even find me once in a while on Twitter, or X, but I very seldom do anything on there. But I'm also gonna be helping out with the KeyCon sci-fi stuff coming up. So you guys make sure that you follow me and stay updated, because I'm taking over KeyCon in 2025. Sorry.
Awesome. And Aubrey, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Dawning Even K and on Facebook. And also you can find me this coming Saturday, not this weekend, but the next weekend. I will be in the tree lighting ceremony for Columbia, Tennessee. We dress up like an elf, saying happy holidays to everyone.
Yay! Cade, where can people find Cartoon Commotion?
At www.cartooncommotion.com.
That's right. And if you forget that, there's a link at backofthecerealbox.fun as well.
Excellent.
As part of the Cereal Box Network. And Ryan, where can people follow, find, and support you?
Well, if they want to follow this scruffy-looking nerve herder, they can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, because I love Star Wars. At RyanRPM5. Check us out at Neuroculture Channel. 30th anniversary watch along of Batman Mask of the Phantasm is happening next month, so check us out for that. Whole bunch of stuff is coming your way very soon. There's a few changes as well, so get ready. There's going to be some exciting times. They're doing a reset, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So, yeah, we're going to achieve greatness, as everyone here at this table has achieved greatness in their own right. So thanks for having me. This was great. And watch Batman Mask of the Phantasm, because you're going to like the way you look after watching or listening to that movie. I guarantee it.
That's outstanding. And for those of you who are watching, if you love what we do, consider becoming a supporter at patreon.com/cerealboxpodcast. Make a donation. And if you hate what we do, donate even more generously to help us improve. And you can follow the shows, not just our show, but all of the shows on the Cereal Box Network at backofthecerealbox.fun. And make sure you like this show, share this show, continue to post comments. Those things help us gain traction in the algorithm, and more people will see us. And whatever platform you're listening or watching on, make sure you subscribe, click the notification bell so that you never, ever miss an episode. And before we go, we need to acknowledge one of our partners, Comic Books for Kids. Check this out.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.
Visit cb4k.org.
All right, guys and gals, that is it for this episode. Thanks, everyone, for watching. And until the next time, love you, mean it. We'll catch you on the back of the cereal box.
Have a good day, everyone.
Bye.
And Johnny, answer that phone.